Welcome to the Sales Lab.
And you mentioned a moment ago, I wanted to rewind back to something you said a second ago, which was the sales role changing over the last few years. Walk us through your thoughts on that. What are you seeing?
The biggest thing, obviously, is the implementation and use of AI. I am using that now for everything that I do. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not using it because I'm relying on it 100%, right? But if I need to put a proposal together, I will take my notes. I'll take my AI note taker notes. I'll take the customer's notes. I'll maybe take the RFP. I will run all of those things through. And then I'm going to take some time on my own. I'm going to edit it. And I'm really going to dial that in. And then maybe I put back into the AI, hey, here's the customer's strategic objectives. Look, what has their CEO said recently? What were their most recent earnings? What were the things they said in there? You've got to take all those things into account now more than ever for a couple of reasons. One, you're going to deliver a much, much better dialed in product. The other reason is I promise you your competition, someone is doing that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Back in the day, Willy, every company had what I call, they were the major account rep. And they'd been at the company for 20 years, maybe more. And maybe they had one or two accounts that they called on. They made a really good salary and everyone kind of deferred to them because they sort of left them alone. That job doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And it was mostly a relationship type of sell. That person wasn't particularly technical. They had just done it forever and they kind of knew. Our customers now are moving at such a fast pace every single day. You need to stay a step ahead. You've got to stay a step ahead. And I think, to me, that's probably the biggest change that we've seen. And it's obviously been accelerated over the last 2 or 3 years, is use AI to help you be more efficient. I was just talking to my COO the other day because I was running out of time about a year ago to get everything done. I said, can you help me? Can we move some stuff around? And I realized I actually have greater capacity now to do some stuff because I'm using AI for a lot of those things. I want to be clear, I'm not relying on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm using it to be accretive to what it is that I'm doing. Let me ask you a question. Are you familiar with the name Oded Netzer?
I don't believe I am, no.
Okay. Oded, I think, is still at Columbia Business School. I did not go to Columbia Business School.
Okay.
And he has a great quote. It's one of my favorite quotes. And it's usually misattributed. It's usually attributed to my favorite CEO, which is Jensen Huang of NVIDIA. And what he says, you will not be replaced by AI. You will be replaced by someone who knows how to use AI. And so I think if you're listening to this, and particularly if you're beginning your career or you're just starting your career, honestly, at any point in your career, but especially if you're getting into it, find out how to use AI. There is so much that you can literally ask AI how to use AI. I typed in a couple of weeks ago, I said, optimize my week. Here's what I have going on. And it did, right? Get creative with how you're using it. And I'm not saying you defer to that for everything, right? I want to be clear. Still have to have your own thoughts here. But the people who can make the best use of that are the ones who are going to get it.